Welcome back to another scouting breakdown as we look ahead to the 2024-25 season. We look back at some of the under-the-radar prospects of the 2024 campaign. And the first guy, one of the guys that comes to mind rather, is JT Toppin. Now, before we get into the video, just a little overview. So he's transferring to Texas Tech from New Mexico. He had a really solid freshman season where he averaged 12 points, 9 rebounds, and about half an assist. And he's a 6'9", 210 forward who's 19 years old right now. So first up, we're going to look at his offensive rebound, which I think is one of his better traits. And there's a couple of reasons for that. Number one, you'll see consistently in these clips here from these games against San Diego State and UNLV, he is a great job at positioning. He's really well, he's got a great feel for where to be on the court and then finding a body and getting himself on that interior side while giving himself enough space away from, being under the basket. He does a great job of that. And then he's kind of relentless. He's got a really good motor, he hustles, and he's got a knack for just being around the basketball. So what we'll start to see here is Toppin does a really good job also of just kind of muscling guys out of the way. For a guy who's skinny, he seems to be a lot stronger than he might look. And so I think that's something he'll continue to improve upon. So now we're going to move into defense and rebounding. It's a great block right there where he's able to track the offensive player and follow him to the rim. He averaged almost 2 blocks a game and just over 1 steal. And here he just strips it from the offensive player. It's kind of too easy. He's also a really good defensive rebounder for the similar reasons why he's so good on offense. Great positioning, good hustle, and motor. And most importantly, you need guys who can defensively rebound. That's how you close out possessions. And I think between his rebounding, both on the offense and defensive end of the court, and then his overall defensive ability, he has the floor to become an NBA player. What's going to dictate whether he has success in his draft prospect isn't going to be this side of the ball, because unlike some other draft prospects, he already is really good defensively and as an offensive rebounder. So he's got a skill on offense. This is where he needs to continue to improve, although he's pretty good. He's a solid interior finisher, but not great. And some of that, is at New Mexico, he was playing with another center who was not an outside shooter. And so there wasn't as much room around the basket. Something that might change at the NBA level. But while he's a good interior finisher, he made 65% of his shots from 2-point range. There are some areas where I do think he can improve. He's a good athlete, but not a great athlete. He likes this hook shot, as we'll see a couple of times here. He likes to turn over his right shoulder to get to his favored left hand. And it's something that, works in college, but I don't know how often he'll be able to get to this at the next level. It's nice to have in his bag, so to speak. Here you can see, his explosiveness is good but not great, and sometimes he gets caught trying to score over bigger players. Moving into his shooting, so he is not a good free throw shooter. He shot 2.5 attempts per game. He made 56%. These are the areas where I think between this and you'll see his 3-point shot right here looks okay. Nothing wrong necessarily, but it's not necessarily fluid or you can tell he doesn't have a lot of confidence. So both of those things, just quickly pausing here, I made 34% of his threes, but less than, actually just about 1 attempt per game. If he can make, strides as a shooter from the free throw line, let's say he goes from 56% to upper 60s, and if he keeps a similar percentage from 3, but let's say he ups it to 2.5 attempts per game, that would be significant to me in terms of improvement and give him, much more credibility as a potential late first round pick. As of right now, he seems more like a guy who would be a second round pick. But here we're going to look at a couple areas for improvement. So turnovers, not necessarily the worst. He did have a couple in these games. He averaged just under 1 turnover per game. The issue with the turnovers is more so that he's not a playmaker. And so his assist to turnover ratio is negative. I'd like to see him become more of a playmaker next season. Not saying he goes and turns out to be like a 3 assist guy, but maybe he can get to 1.5 assists. And if he keeps his turnovers where they're at, 1 per game, that's not bad. He's more of a play finisher right now. The real area for improvement for him, besides the shooting, I would say, is fouls. While he is a good defender, and we went over those defensive impact numbers earlier, he did commit over 2.5 fouls, and he played about 26 minutes per game. So he is a bit foul prone. And as you see in these videos, sometimes he gets out of position. Sometimes it's kind of like a too much effort thing, which is fine. You know, you'd rather have that than not enough effort. So it's something where he's got to just be a little bit more smarter when initiating contact and fouling. But overall, he's a very intriguing prospect who I think has a lot of potential. And like I said, if he can make these couple of improvements, next year should be a big year for him. So thanks, guys, for watching this video. I will see you guys next time. Please like and comment who you guys want to see next. Subscribe for more great NBA draft content along with Duke and the Knicks. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.